Alright, and we are live! Welcome everyone to the first ever Final Fantasy Friday. I'm Jim the Editor, and with me I have a very special guest for the first time on the channel. It is the first time, right?
I think so.
I have Chris from Pokemaniacal.
Hello.
The site where it all began. Well, at least for us as internet people. Are we internet people, Chris?
Sure.
Let's go with that. Right, so today we're going to be continuing the Final Fantasy X game that I was playing for the channel a little while ago. I actually did continue this game, so I've gone back, loaded an old save, and got it up to the point where we last left off. So are you ready to get into it, Chris? Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Good. And Chris is going to be keeping an eye on the live chat, so if you want to talk to us, if you want to chat about the game or about anything, just flick us a message and Chris will see that. So without further ado, let's get into it. Should be a grey pause screen. I know, exciting, right?
One of the great pause screens of modern gaming.
Right, we're swimming inside a dream. In the game, I believe we just got... I say I believe, like I don't know. We got sucked into sin. So we've just left Zanarkand, where our protagonist, whose name is Titus, is a star blitzball player.
I thought about a lot of things.
And
Like
some kind of being
was,
attacked
what I got myself
while
into.
he was playing
I
blitzball,
started to
and his
feel
friend Auron
lightheaded.
helped him out of the city, and he was swallowed up by a giant space anus.
I had a dream.
Does that sound right, Chris?
Being alone.
Yeah, so we haven't been to the temple yet, have we? This is just...
So I didn't
He
have
hasn't
to feel
woken up in
alone
Spira yet.
anymore.
No, he has not woken up in Spira yet. He's inside sin.
Right, okay, yes, I remember where we are.
Or wherever things go when they're swallowed by a giant thing-destroying thing. Is that a good summation of what sin is?
Anybody there?
Oh,
Auron!
I don't know, giant squid, whale, barnacle thing.
Sin has multiple incarnations, right? So, do we ever learn anything about the other sins?
I don't know, hey, I always kind of assumed it looked the same each time, but maybe I'm wrong.
That'd be
I mean,
pretty...
they seem to know what it is, right? Like, they recognize it when it comes back.
I mean, how many giant Leviathan-inspired things are there around? Like, surely this thing just turns up, starts wrecking shop, and they're like, I guess that's what sin looks like. Because, I mean, what's life expectancy in Spira? Like, 8 years?
Something like that.
I mean, I'm sure it could be longer as long as you don't do anything stupid like join the Crusaders, but... One cool thing about having already played the game is the fact that I can use
we can do this, yes.
my game that's way ahead of everything. I mean, hopefully that already worked. Oh, fucking hell. Sorry, that's the first time I've sworn on the channel. Whoops.
We'll fix it in post. We can bleep you.
I mean, no, we can't. Go straight up there. I'm glad that there was only one person in the audience for that, other than you and me. You bring out the worst of me, Chris. It's all your fault.
Me?
Yeah, you're a bad influence. If it weren't for you, I'd have a real job.
Yeah, so do you have the entire Albed
I
alphabet there,
I
or is it
do.
just? Hmm. Does the game acknowledge in any way that you have the whole?
Only Rin.
Uh,
Only Rin does. And it's, I think, a
uh,
really big missed opportunity.
mm,
Because, I mean, they obviously programmed this function to let you understand Albed from the start. That's why they've got that sphere this early in the game. I
mm.
mean, spoilers for a 20-year-old game. But we're about to meet some Albed, and we're going to be able to understand everything they say. And I've never actually done that before. I've never had a playthrough where I had the full Albed code, language, dictionary, whatever it is, inside my head. Don't you dare tell Anthony what I was embarrassed about.
I'm telling him.
Hi Anthony, how you doing? This is the first time I ever swore on the channel. Of course, it's during a live stream. It's okay, this is already not rated for all ages, so... I won't make a habit of it, but...
It's the internet. Everyone cool swears.
Everyone cool swears. I mean, even you on your blog, you censor yourself for the most part.
Yeah. I mean, fairly lightly, right?
I mean, you can always understand what you're... Oh, sorry, Tony. But yeah, yeah, we'll go with that. You can always figure out what you're trying to say.
Right.
Your Skype head is actually right in the way there for me, Chris, so I'm just going to move that. Oh, and another, a boss fight. Which, I mean, theoretically, I could lose.
Hmm.
You have to survive a certain number of turns, right? I don't remember.
I don't know if you can lose this actually.
Let's not take that as a challenge. I didn't save at the last save point. Okay, he seems to be doing half my health with his attacks.
Yeah.
There you go, Tony's a long-time fan, Chris.
Oh, excellent. I didn't realize I had those. Hey, Tony.
Of course you have those, at least 4. Other than me and your family.
Hmm. Oh, my family aren't fans.
I know.
Bunch of slackers.
I know. Sorry, me and your mum talk. She's very disparaging at times.
Yeah, I'm sure she is.
You knew that.
Can't be worse than you, though.
I don't know. It is actually good to talk to you, though. Chris and I, we haven't spoken. Like, spoken. We talk just about every day on various messaging apps.
I had made it out.
They're not
I don't-
sponsoring us. We don't say them on the
into
channel.
freezer.
We speak from time to time on
I thought I
various
was gonna
messaging
die in this
apps.
place.
Not from time to time, almost every day. But it's been a
Yeah,
long
I don't
time.
think I don't think we've spoken like audio, voice to voice since the last time you were home.
Since, yeah, maybe. Yeah, I don't think we have. So it'd be, what, January?
Mm-hmm.
That's a long time.
It is.
That reminds me, I probably should Skype my family at some point.
You said you weren't going to use the name. Come on, Jim.
Oh, sorry, I've already said Skype. Sorry. Use some form of video messenger to talk to and see my family. Alright, so Titus is cold. He's found a fire pit. This is like, I don't quite understand what this temple is doing here.
Hmm.
Like, we know it's a temple. Oh, examine the thing. We know it's a temple. I presume it's been destroyed by sin.
That would make sense, I guess.
But when was it destroyed by sin? I mean, also, like, spoilers that this is where you get anima later. Oh, I've just come from there. I'll go there. It's where you get anima later.
I think we can just assume spoilers for everything.
Yeah, fair. Yeah, this is not our first playthrough, so we hope it's not your playthrough, and you're hopefully not playing or watching us for the story. You're watching it for the interaction between two good friends who have known each other for nearly 2 decades.
Oh, Christ.
When we first met in the hallowed halls of Dwarven Grammar School.
Hmm.
But yes, I'm not really sure what's going on with this temple, because there's a statue of the faith here that is a fairly recently empowered statue of the faith.
Yeah, so Seymour must have dragged the thing there.
Yeah, so Seymour's brought it across. What happened to the original faith that was here?
Oh, Tony says don't worry about spoilers, he loves this game.
Good man. Well, does Tony have any theories about what happened to the original faith of this temple? If we assume it was destroyed by sin, the temple that is. It's just, yeah,
I need food.
I love the idea that Seymour's mother turned herself into a faith so that he could defeat sin. And then he used the power of that faith, rather than to defeat sin, to become all-powerful. But I don't think it tracks. Like, it's a great idea that... I mean, I guess you're used to talking about ideas like this, Chris, over on your blog, but it's an idea that is good in essence, but the application of it doesn't quite work.
Yeah, I don't know, I've never really thought about it before.
Oh, that's a really good point.
Yeah, Yojimbo, that makes sense.
Yeah, that's a really good point. And then as a maester or a son of a maester, it makes sense if Seymour knew about the
read that out? Does this stream go up later? Are people going to be able to watch the whole thing?
Yeah, the stream is going to go up later, and as long as I don't play with it to edit things, then the live chat will go up too. But do read it out, because it's a great point. Yeah. Tony deserves to be credited.
Yojimbo is known as the Stolen Faith, so the assumption is that the original faith that was from this temple before it was destroyed was him. Which makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, that's a good assumption.
Area where
I really should have healed before this battle.
The Cavern of the Stolen Faith, so yeah, that makes sense.
Although I had always assumed that Yojimbo was from somewhere nearby. Now, I don't really remember the map, but then we're assuming missing temples. And I mean, you could assume missing temples. I think that's Occam's razor. Probably the best explanation.
But there could be something in Gagazet, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I like your theory, Tony.
Before we go anywhere else, I would just like to say that I love this area.
What are you doing over there, Chris? You're just squirming around. I can hear it in the background.
Huh?
I keep hearing something. Yeah, no, I agree with you. It's a fantastic area. And it's really an interesting way to kind of get your character established in this world. Because you've come from somewhere completely different, get dropped into this ruined place that you don't really know about. You get told how to use a grenade that you can use now, but will never have a use for, or won't have any use for until way later in the game. Yeah, Tony,
You can use them in that that first sort of sequence with Rico in the sunken ship.
yeah. Then don't you have like an additional tutorial about them at that point?
Oh, I don't remember.
Yeah, me neither, really. Now, is it Remium Temple? I never bothered pronouncing it out loud because I never had to.
I think Remium. I think. Does anyone
Remember.
actually say it? I think Belgamina says it at one point. I think it is Remium.
It's like a chainsaw starting up. It's Temple.
It's really not that much of a tongue twister.
It's so many MMMMs. They just couldn't be bothered putting it all out on the screen.
It's literally two M's.
No. They've just abridged it for you.
That was close.
But yeah, the Mega Sisters are in Remember Temple.
Redek Drak. Ifin, Irisa Tekiaka. Wak Edeku. Kemed?
This is really cool. I've never seen all of these things.
Dralnia Drakisha Dave.
Jeez, that's dark. She stabs you in the back. No, punches you in the stomach. I mean, to your point about that area, Chris, it is pretty cool that when you come to this world, the first people you meet, you're not actually... They don't speak English. The universal language.
Japan English.
Yeah. It kind of helps to drive home the point that this is not the same world that you left behind.
That hurts.
Musujek, right?
Whoa. Okay.
Canis.
Right.
Brother.
Tuli should Kabay? I said I don't understand.
You know what? I understand now the way he's characterized in Final Fantasy X too. He was just... Whoever wrote that had only seen this scene.
Just this one scene. They were like, make sure you know the story of Final Fantasy X, and they were like, I'll get there. And they got to this part, and they're like, don't worry, got it.
Yeah, it's all just based entirely on him grunting and making weird gestures in this first scene.
I don't
That's
even know
everything.
how to use the sphere grid. Yes. I've done this before. Ah, no. Wish I could skip this. But yeah, the sphere grid. We should probably talk about the sphere grid. At some
Should
point.
we?
I mean, you're the kind of person who's talked at some length about game mechanics.
Mm.
So, having been the kind of person to talk at some length about game mechanics, what do you think of this game mechanic?
I don't know that I have anything off the top of my head, honestly.
You have no thoughts about sphere grid rather than levels? Or, like... Yeah, the thing that strikes me about the sphere grid is it's almost like a fairly tangible way of seeing the impacts of leveling up, quote unquote.
Yeah, I like the visualization. That's cool.
And it allows for some degree... Okay, I should probably save. Unless we do a play till I die, which could be quite short. I'm not very good. Alright. Oh, good. I get given things.
Ancient ruins right beneath us. It's not active now, but there should still be some power left.
It's quite cool how you're actually finding the airship now and how that comes around. But yeah, I quite like the sphere grid because it gives you kind of training goals.
Roger.
You know me, I'm a bit of a grinder. Oh, you poser, Titus. You know me, I'm a bit of a grinder. And I like having the ability to see when I'm next going to get kind of the strength boost that I want, the HP boost that I want, or the next ability. Go, Titus, go!
I like the flexibility that it gives you in terms of leveling up your characters and mixing their abilities and that sort of thing. I don't like so much that because everyone's on the same grid and shares all the same abilities, the ultimate goal of it is basically everyone in the party can do the same things equally well.
Yeah, and so the only distinguishing feature really is how hard their best weapons are to get and their limits.
Right.
I'm not going to save there, I'm just going to... That's how you do it. Can't work something, you just bash it, right? I've lost 3 laptops that way. No, go up. But yeah, I agree to an extent, I suppose. Like it would be, I guess, more rewarding if there was some kind of limit to how many like sphere points you could accumulate, if that makes sense. So if that was explicit, but at the same time I quite like that you can have Titus the mage or Riku the tank if you so choose it.
Yeah, that is fun.
And I mean, my main criticism of some of the Final Fantasy games, in particular the more recent Final Fantasy games, is that people are slightly more shoehorned into playing a single role. So I quite like the flexibility that that this gives you. Even though, I mean, you could argue that given how strong the final weapons are, even at those really, really late stages of the game, you're still kind of shoehorned into specific roles for specific people. I'm thinking of, in particular, the fact that...
Well, Yuna's always going to be a caster, right?
Well, Yuna's got the 1 MP
Right.
kind of magic skill. Yes. Can I steal from... No, I can't steal from a range. And so does Lulu, with her best weapon having both 1 MP cost and the magic booster ability. So you are kind of, I mean, not constrained, but directed by that. But then you can always, if you really want, do your own thing and make your own weapons, which is possible if you want to spend a long time on it. But yeah, it's I quite enjoy the sphere grid. Pardon?
Is it possible to make weapons as good as the celestial weapons?
Not quite. Only because the celestial weapons have a hidden bonus of sorts. When we're talking about the celestial weapons, like the people watching will know what we mean. But yeah, the celestial weapons are the top weapons in the game that you can unlock. And they have... all of them have an attack bonus, I believe, or a damage bonus based on how much HP you have left. And for most people it's how much is left, with more being better, except for Auron, for whom it's the lower percentage, the better. Because that makes sense. Come on, Riku, be stronger than that.
So you were saying?
I don't remember. It was about we were talking about sphere grids and things and stuff.
I asked whether you could make weapons that were better than...
Oh no, and I answered that. I said not quite.
But I don't think I got why it's not quite.
Because as I said, there's the bonus damage that the celestial weapons all have, which is what I was explaining about.
Oh,
Bonus for lower and a bonus for higher. HPs, that is. Jeez, it's like you don't listen to me. It's like editing your blog all over again. This is my channel, Chris. You have to listen to me.
Nah. I'll give it a go.
It's recommended. Anyway, well, we've escaped to the outside. We've beaten another boss early on. One thing that is particularly striking about this game, I'm coming off playing at the moment quite a lot of Witcher. Witcher 3.
I never played any of those.
I hadn't either, but Rosanna and I watched the Netflix series and immediately was just like, yep, gotta get those games. They're on sale on Steam. It's not a sponsored plug, but it's available on Steam if you want it, and on sale in their summer sale. So I got that, and it's a fantastic game. But yeah, it's striking how simplistic the combat is here, and I quite like the turn-based, non-stressful combat that this Final Fantasy game in particular offers, because it's not real-time like some of the earlier games were, or there's no real-time aspect to the turn-based system. It does mean that you've got more time to strategize. I just wish they had made you use that time a bit more, because as you've seen from these first few battles, it's almost just standing here and mashing A. Oh, I've never understood what they've said. They actually confirm that it is the airship and wonder how to bring it to the surface. Interesting.
Hmm.
The English speakers stay outside. Damn racists.
They've been persecuted by English speakers for a long time. I forgive them.
You're very forgiving. I mean, I'm not about to go full waka on them, but
Whoa! Right on.
Titus is an animal. And now he's choking. Of course he is. What an idiot.
Hey,
I mean, have you ever played Final Fantasy IX?
No, I haven't.
it's
Neither. So
too fast.
when I came to this game, I came to it via 7, then 8. So my experience of lead characters was Cloud, then Squall, who are so diametrically opposed to Titus.
The word you're looking for is angsty.
Hello there. What is your name?
I mean,
Reed.
broody, angsty.
Whoa!
I mean, Cloud and Squall are pretty expressive names. And Titus is just a maniac. Listen to him laugh.
What?
And this is not even the laughing scene.
I didn't
Listen
get
to
a
him
chance
laugh.
Everyone thought we were a fiend.
We?
Oh, we mean.
See, this whole dialogue doesn't make any sense because we understand perfectly what they're saying.
Who are you guys anyway?
We're Albert.
I wonder what the dialogue with Rin when he tells us to learn the language is going to
You're
be.
not an Albert hater, are you?
Hmm.
I don't even know what an Albed is.
Where are you from?
Xanarkand. I'm a blitzball player.
Can you imagine how insane he must sound to Riku right now?
Did you
Like, he just
hit your head or something?
choked on food that he was given, sitting outside on the deck. Stood up, laughed like a maniac because she understood him, and then claimed to be the star player of the Zanarkand Abes from Zanarkand, a city that hasn't existed for 1,000 years.
So I told her everything there was to tell about Xanarkand.
And then went off on this massive diatribe about
Sin's attack.
Zanarkand.
And about how Aaron and I
And
were
she
engulfed in
believes
this
him.
light. I just said things as they
Oh,
came
she
to
doesn't
mind.
kick him. Oh,
But then
I don't
started to
know.
wonder.
Does she believe him at this stage?
Yeah, I suppose she might just be humoring him.
Well, I mean, Sin's toxin, right? She might be like, "Whoa, you got a big dose right there, buddy."
You were near sin. Don't worry, you'll be better in no time. They say your head gets
He'll
funny
be
when
better
Sin's
in no time.
Maybe you just had some kind of dream?
You mean I'm sick?
It definitely is sick, but it's not the toxin.
You sure?
Yeah, there is no Xanarkand anymore. Sin
Also,
started
can you
1,000
imagine
years
how
ago.
poorly adjusted Titus would
So
be
no one plays
if he
blitzball
were a
there.
real person? He's the son
mean
of a
if?
famous blitzball player with, like, the ultimate daddy issues.
What do you mean?
There is no if.
1,000
He is
years
extremely
ago?
poorly adjusted.
But
Yeah,
I saw
it's
Sin
crazy.
attack Xanarkand. You're saying that happened
But,
to
like,
him?
he's a reasonable human
No
being
way.
despite all that.
Hmm.
Oh, it's been so long that my controller turned itself off.
You play blitzball?
Uh-huh.
You know, you should go to Luca. Someone might know who you are, or you might find someone you recognize.
Luca?
Luca, it's this place where there's people and they play things. Blitzball, you know?
Leave it to me. I'll get you to Luca. Promise. You'd rather stay here? Okay. I'll let
Riku
you
is
get
very,
us.
very nice.
Hmm.
Oh. And one thing. Don't tell anyone you're from Xanarkand, okay?
Yeah,
Yevon says it's a
don't.
holy place. You might upset someone.
See, I don't think she believes him.
Oh,
Hmm.
I think she's just a concerned person.
Yeah, possibly.
My Xanarkand? Some kind of holy place? Yeah, right, I thought. Since when?
Since, I don't know, Titus, 1,000 years ago?
Yevon? Sin? Luca? I thought Sin just took me to a faraway place. That I could go back in a day or two. But 1,000?
What are you doing over there, Chris?
Over where?
No way!
On your... over where you are, it's just... a rush of sound.
I don't have a proper microphone. I have warned you about this.
People these days. How can you run a blog without a microphone?
Easier than you'd think.
Okay, sin has come. Is that grammatical English in any way, shape, or form?
It is come.
Sin is come. It's not
I mean, it's
like.
archaic, but yeah.
Does it make sense? Like, is it
Not
archaic,
often.
or is it just like odd?
No, it absolutely is an archaism.
Why do they need to speak in archaisms if they are already speaking a different language?
I don't know.
Me neither. Me neither, Chris. This is a much
Yeah,
better
as-
place
as
to
we-
wake up.
As in joy to the world, the Lord is come.
Riku!
Ugh. Gross. As I was saying, Besaid is a much better place to wake up after a sin attack
Blitzball!
than in the middle of the ocean next to a deserted temple.
Hey!
Also, how much control do you think Sin has over where he puts Titus? Did he make a mistake the first time? Is Sin fallible?
I kind of assume not a whole lot. I think it's kind of random.
See, I tend to think that putting him here was very deliberate. I tend to think that he's here at this specific point in time to join Yuna on her journey, because Auron needs to protect them both. I went the wrong way. Great. Because Auron's promised Braska and Jext that he'd protect them both. The easiest way to protect them both is to get them both together. Yuna's starting her pilgrimage, so and Auron wants to avenge Braska, save Jecht as well. Auron's got a lot to do. So I tend to think that he was always meant to arrive here at this time. But then I don't know what he was doing at Barge, aside from meeting some kind of nice Albed.
Try that move one more time.
Right, see, that's why I think it's not
Things were
necessarily
starting to look up.
controlled.
So you just think he has two goes at it?
Yeah.
Fair. Gets it right the second time. 50% success rate's not too bad.
You know
comment from Tony. I'm disappointed with how much regression seems to happen in Riku's character between this game and 10-2. I liked 10-2 for what it was, but...
I mean,
What team you say again?
Tony isn't to know this, but Chris and I did nearly parallel playthroughs of 10-2 a couple of months ago.
My head's all foggy.
And I don't know how far you got. I got
Or even where I came from.
6 chapters in.
Since toxin got to you.
Yeah, I didn't get that far. I kind of... I had other things on my mind.
And yeah, I was quite disappointed with Brother's character, with Yuna's character, and with Riku's character. They are all kind of caricatures of who they were and became in this game. Yeah, it was an interesting game,
So I just had to
as
ask.
Tony says, for what it was. And it was fun to explore Spira in a post-Sin world.
Rubble now, isn't it?
But there was so much more that could have been done with it.
A lot of cities in Spira. Big cities with machina, machines to run them. People played all day and let the machina do the work. And
Just,
then, well, take a look. Sin came and destroyed the machina cities. And Xanarkand along with him.
I mean, it's not a terrible moral, is it?
You said, if you ask me, sins are punishment for letting things get out of hand. What gets me though
Thoughts, Chris?
is we gotta suffer because of what some goofballs did way back when. Of course, we must always repent for our sins. That's important.
Yeah.
Like, just the idea, it almost borrows from,
It was
well,
just
like
as
the
we
ant and the
said.
grasshopper kind of
Wonka
thing.
and Riku couldn't both
Getting
go.
lazy and
Why would they?
just chilling out and enjoying the bounty of everything else. Not knowing that it's not going to be that good forever.
That was a good one, huh?
But,
I'm not saying that team never existed, yeah?
yeah, it's
A team living in luxury like that.
not a terrible story. You can tell why it's reasonably convincing to everyone outside of Bevelle.
But at that time,
But then surely everyone who's seen Bevelle,
everything that happened to me, all
I mean,
this
that might not be too
started
many
with
people,
sin.
but everyone who's seen
Maybe if I
Bevelle
could find sin one more
knows
time,
how rubbish
go
that
home.
is.
For now, I just
Or
live
at least
life until
how
that time
hypocritical
came. No
the
more worrying
teachings
about
are.
Where or when I was. Sure, it was hard not to think of home, but I started to feel better already. A little better.
How much of Bevelle do we
Maybe.
actually see in this game?
What was that?
How much of Bevelle do we actually see in this game? It's pretty much just the temple, isn't it?
Just the temple and that little, like, staging area where they have the wedding. You see much more of it in 10-2, and that's one aspect of 10-2 that's actually quite cool,
It's this way.
is kind of being able to explore the catacombs of Bevelle.
Huh?
This is such a dick move to someone you've just met. Just push him off a cliff. And it's not a small cliff either. That's like, you can do some damage.
That'd hurt.
Well, it has the potential to hurt, sure, certainly.
I guess he's already pegged Titus as a really good blitzball player, though.
Yeah, so let's break his ankle by pushing him into a, into, like, what? Is that coral and destroyed, buildings down here?
Yeah.
Yeah, why not? Let's just do that. This is one of the few areas in the game that you can't come back to. Random fact. Is that, yeah, you can never get back into this water.
I'm trying to run through that in my head, and yeah, I think you're right.
I think it's like here, maybe parts of the temple in Bevel, and home. Because of course that gets destroyed.
Yeah.
Better get this chest then, moral of the story. Can't do without these potions. And while I'm thinking about that, I'm also reminded that we haven't used any of our levels, our points on the sphere grid yet. What kind of playthrough do you want this to be? It is the expert sphere grid. Hey, don't go up, go down. It is the expert sphere grid, so antidotes, yuck. A useless item in this game since statuses are healed in between battles. But we haven't decided what kind of playthrough we're going to do. I'm not going to do a zero sphere grid playthrough because...
Oh god.
I mean, that's just really exploiting broken mechanics, right? There's a lot of freaking out until Riku gets there and then making sure you steal from the right people and get enough money to bribe the right stuff to get the items you need to cast the mixes that you require. And that, I mean, that's not going to be fun for just a casual hangout and chat. But do we want to do like what I did in the the first playthrough of this save file that I did and just mess everything up? Do you want to go for a traditional run? What do you think?
I think messing everything up sounds good.
Oh man,
Let's see.
it was certainly interesting. That's for sure. I won't spoil what I did unless people want to hear it. But yeah, it's just a bit of fun. Oh god, now he pushed me off a cliff, and now he is threatening to drown me. Walker's a good friend.
He's a human person.
He certainly is a human person. Although, I'd question that hair. How does he get his hair that way? Is there some kind of natural hair gel on the island?
Maybe he's half Ronso?
Well, horn and hair are made out of similar things.
Exactly. And he's really tall, so...
Is he really tall?
I thought then that Blitzball and Sin
He's taller than Titus anyway.
Is Titus just quite short? Is Lulu taller than Titus?
I don't think so.
This is where I was born. I started Blitz when I was 5. I joined the Aurochs at 13, 10 years ago. 10 years. And we never
I've never thought about it before, but do you think everyone in Besaid is related to each other?
Time seemed right.
Probably... It's a small island.
It's a really small island. There are like, what, 5 tents?
So, after quitting,
And the
I
temple.
missed the job, yeah? But every time my mind wandered, I thought about the game.
I mean, I assume, like, standard RPG conventions, there's a bigger population than we actually see. You know, there's more than 10 people living in Pallet Town, that kind of thing.
There are not more than 10 people living in Pellet Town. That's the entire population. Everyone has left. Because it's such a dump.
So, what's our goal?
I don't care how we do.
As long as we play our best.
God damn it, Walker.
I can walk away happy.
No. If I say what's our goal, you say victory. When you play in a Blitzball tournament, you play to win.
Victory.
It's like he's never considered winning before. His reaction to that is just like, you mean there's a choice? We have the option of not losing? But Tony, speaking of things that disappointed me about Final Fantasy X-2,
Be on guard. There are fiends
the
on the road.
abomination that they made of Blitzball. Ugh.
I don't think I played Blitzball in 10-2.
Luzu and Gata, Crusaders.
Huh?
I mean, I hated it anyway, so I don't
You
care.
forgot that too?
I love Blitzball, and you know that.
Hey, sorry.
I
About it. I'll help
I
you
used to spend hours and hours and hours playing
In
Blitzball
return, come tournament time,
because it
I'll
was
make
something
sure
to
you
put
pay
on, and it would entertain Isaac
out. About the
and
Crusaders,
my younger brothers.
ask them yourself. They got a lodge in their village.
So it was a way of us kind of just hanging out. And the problem with Blitzball is that after a certain point, it's no longer a challenge, right? You just start to dominate teams, and it's such a long game.
They got any food
Like,
there?
they should introduce a mercy rule, and that would have actually made the game for people who wanted just to win championships and get the items required.
Lodge is over yonder. Luzu and Gata-
That would have been a fairly good idea. Because if you're down by 5, you're not coming back.
All right. Over here.
So maybe I'd have that, like, if you're up by 5 goals, then that's the end of the game. I don't know any prayers.
Of course, I'd never prayed.
I know
before
one
in my
prayer.
life. Not that he would know that.
It's the schism between our churches, Chris.
You must have forgot or something. Here, I'll show you.
Oh, Tony has a comment on Walker's hair.
Uh,
You said you finished 10-2,
I have not
right?
finished 10-2, but I have not played it in 2 months. So
Did something happen to his hair?
I don't. Please spoil us, Tony. Oh god, he's so awkward, isn't he? And then he says next, "Of course, I knew the prayer is the Blitzball sign for victory." And yet he was the most awkward person in the world about doing it.
Any blitzball player would know that prayer. It was the blitzball sign.
If you would know the prayer, then why wouldn't you do it properly, you jerk? Sin's toxin. It meant that he only knew it after he'd been
It
shown.
feels weird that this is a religious thing now.
Yeah, but as soon as he saw Waka do it, surely he could be like, "Ah, you mean this?" And he could do it back. Dun, 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 dun. How many people are there in this town, Chris? You gonna count for me?
No,
Well, there's this person in the green.
there's 6.
There are
there's
more than
only
6 because there's a blitzball team.
Nope, there's only 6. They're wearing different costumes. That old woman, that's Letty.
The old woman is Letty. You know what? When you consider how good Letty is, yep, I'm down with that. Going to the temple. Now this is what a temple looks like.
It was then, standing in that place. I began to realize how different this world was from
That's
my
such a bad line reading. It's such a bad line reading.
What don't you like about it?
The how quick it is. It was in that place when I was standing in that place, and there's a big pause, and then it's that I began to realize how different this place was from my own. Like, why the big pause between the first bit and the second bit? And why no breath, no pause at all in that second bit?
Tony says he didn't even try Blitzball past 1 or 2 games in Tim 2.
I tried, and it made me really sad.
And finally, we received
It is actually one of the reasons why I ended up giving up the game.
Oh, what's a high summoner?
I mean, they do have the that other side mini game, the coins one, which is interesting. It's just basically a way to teach children maths.
Hearing myself make
but-
the same excuse over and over. Funny.
But
A
yeah,
little sad.
it wasn't terrible.
Summoners are practitioners of a sacred art, sworn to protect the
I think
people of heaven.
if I were to
Only a
rank
chosen few
the
become
mini
summoners
games
who
in the
call
Final
for
Fantasy
entities of
series that
great
I've
power,
played,
the aeons
Blitzball's my
hear our
favorite.
prayers and come down to us.
Mm.
They are the blessed.
then
So what he meant?
not
was that we should
really
expect
sure.
Some kind of great men or something like that. I figured.
Not really sure about any of the Golden Saucer games in 7. I didn't really like monster hunting in 12. I didn't get through all of 13 or its sequels. I have them. I didn't get through them because the game system annoyed me. But 8's card game's up there. Collecting the cards in Final Fantasy VIII was a lot of fun.
I haven't played that, but I know that it's really divisive. Like,
Really?
you either love it or you hate it.
Really? It doesn't strike me as something that kind of could be that divisive. It's a fairly simple card game.
Hmm.
Also, we were just told that these are the high summoners. And it was something that I didn't actually realize until you pointed it out to me, Chris, earlier this year, which is kind of embarrassing. That Sin's only been beaten 4 times in 1,000 years. And one of them was 10 years ago.
Yeah. Because it's
So-
the same 4 statues in every temple that we go to.
Yeah. Well,
what
like, we
what
can
is
just
it?
about name them all.
Yeah, Braska, O'Holland, Yakun. Who's the other one? Gandalf.
Yep. You'd assume that Unalesca would be one of them as well, so Sin's been beaten 5 times.
Yeah. And she's got a statue too.
Does she?
Yeah, you can't see it here, but when he first enters the temple, you get a shot that sort of shows you higher up towards the roof, and there's statues of Unalesca and Zaon as well.
Ah, Lord
I don't
Zaon.
think you can see it. I don't think you can see it by leaving the temple and going back in, but if you rewatch the video again afterwards and you look at the cutscene when he first enters the temple, yeah, there's statues of Unalesca and Zaon too.
Trust me, Chris, no one's rewatching this video afterwards. Yeah. Tony says that if I don't mind spoilers, you get to see Waka and Lulu's child, who very much has Waka's hair. And I mean, yeah, it's just like an anime thing.
I'm googling this now. I want to see this.
Can sneak past these guys. The cat's on the bed. Don't let cats on the bed.
Hey, you! You were attacked by Sin, right? Recently, was it?
Gata and Luzu, my favorite couple in this whole game.
Sin can't be far, right? You're not hiding anything, are you?
Why would I?
If Sin's nearby, it'll attack the island for sure.
But going back to our discussion about
Why?
kind of side games,
Sorry, I really don't know anything.
and also throwing back to talking of The Witcher, Gwent, the card game in the Witcher series, is fantastic.
Listen, gotta tell
It actually exists as its own as a game, but it is a really well thought through card game.
Yeah, I think my brother has played that.
Formed the Crusaders 800 years ago as the Crimson Blades. Later, our ranks grew and we called ourselves the Crusaders. We've been
I don't know
fighting
anything
sin
about
ever
it.
since.
What? You've been fighting 800 years and you
Is a
still-
Crusaders a problematic name now that it's 2020?
Well, we've steered sin away from towns many times, and that's all we can do. Nobody's ever been able to defeat it.
It's too early in the
Our
morning for
mission
that
as
one for me.
Crusaders is to protect the
Now, of course, we
temples,
should say
villages, and
Chris is in New Zealand right now, so it's very early in the morning.
Then whose job is it
He's
to
abandoned his seat of power in Cincinnati
Really this bad?
and returned home.
it does seem rather bad.
I am still in
I could just
Scotland.
tell you, but I think it better for you to try and remember. Go pray at the temple. Perhaps Yevon will help you regain your memory.
What do you think Gutta and Luzu's relationship is, Chris? There's got to be some fan art out there. I mean,
Let's see.
oh god, I'm not gonna put it up if there is.
I'm sure there'll be some wholesome stuff.
It's the internet. It's not gonna be wholesome.
Let's see. Safe search. Oh. You know what? Yeah, I ship it.
God, gross. Although Luzu and Chapu is a couple that I would root for. And yeah, Tony, that makes sense with the VA, but it's still an awfully delivered line. There are a couple of them in this game. I'll see if I can remember them as I get to them. But that one has always struck me.
No time for lunch yet.
Just shorten the line.
Nap. You look bushed.
I don't even think we see Titus's face, so we don't even need to match lip flaps. I don't think. Either that, or he's got his mouth wide open because it's one of the voiceovers.
Go see how they are doing. We can't interfere. It's a rule.
So I mean, if there were lip flaps to match, that would make sense. But with a voiceover like that, just deliver the line properly.
It's been nearly a day already.
Perhaps you could go look for us.
People are
Just
searching.
traumatic childhood experiences. How does Titus know what they're saying if he wasn't there? He's just creepily hiding behind one of those walls.
Yeah, I assume he's there somewhere.
He just appeared out of the blue.
Hmm.
We've lost Chris. He's gone down the Luzu and Chapu internet search. He's now 4 pages deep in Tumblr. We'll never get him back. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen.
Waka?
Right in my ear, Chris. Right in my ear. And the ear of every listener.
I'm sorry.
That might have to be a running joke in the series, how bad you are at just coughing, rustling into your mic.
Something wrong?
The summoner hasn't
I
returned
told you
from
I don't have a
travels.
mic. It's just the built-in thing on my laptop.
Apprentice summoner
Isn't it the one on your headphones?
My headphones don't have a mic.
Cloister
No.
of
Oh,
Triumph.
really?
Beyond is where the apprentice summoner prays.
Why are you sitting at a desk then?
If the
Why didn't we
prayer-
sort this out beforehand?
Apprentice becomes a fully fledged
I don't
summoner.
know.
Remember?
We're not very good at this.
Someone is in there somewhere and they haven't come back.
Clearly.
I got it.
That's okay, it's our first go. Well, your first go, my
Dangerous?
6th go.
Sometimes, yes.
And Tony seems to be having an alright time. He hasn't left us yet, I don't think.
There's already guardians in there. Besides, it's forbidden.
The thing says we got 3 people watching, and only one of them is me.
But what if something happens?
Think.
What if the
Well,
summoner...
if we assume the other one's Tony, because I'm also one of them.
Like I
Ah.
care.
Yay for us, 3 people. And 2 of them are ourselves.
Three's a crowd, right?
It is a crowd.
Maybe
This live stream is
this wasn't
crowded.
Such a good idea after all.
Yeah, I do remember the fact that there are different endings for Final Fantasy X-2 depending on what percentage of the game you've completed. Which I think is interesting. Again, to harp on about The Witcher 3, Chris, because you haven't played it, I can keep talking about it. There are apparently 36 different endings that you can get.
Oh god,
depending on your choices throughout the story. And not all of them are good. It actually stresses me out every time I have to make a decision, because I'm not quite sure how it's going to affect it. So it means that I just have to make decisions based on how I actually think and feel.
Well, I guess that's good.
Either that or you can check a walkthrough, but that's no fun. Ooh, is this the last Final Fantasy where you get to name the lead character?
No idea.
Good, good. I imagine you probably can in the online ones, right?
I don't know.
That would
Probably.
make sense. Because the rest of them are voice acted, so you can't really... Well, this one's voice acted, and they get around it by never saying Titus's name. Which is how everyone found out that it was actually Tidus.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have to be careful here not to miss the destruction sphere, because that's, from memory, quite easy to miss.
Yeah. I have been tripped up by that before.
Because then you have to beat Dark Velafor. Okay, and from memory, no, don't push it, Titus. It's Tidus. Oh yeah, I said this in the first episode of this series, that I will be saying Titus, because, I mean, how else do you read that name? It's certainly not Tidus. What's your opinion, Chris? You probably have one?
I like Titus. Just purely as a preference, I like the way the name sounds better.
Reminds me of Titus. I have no idea where I'm supposed to be putting this to find... Oh! That was lucky.
Tony says I'm probably better off here. The US seems to be imploding. Yeah. Yeah, it really does.
You know what? Good on them. It only took, what, 3.75 years of rule by an insane... what would you call him? What's a good word for it?
Megalomaniac?
Narcissist. Not to get political or anything, but, I mean... You choose a president like that, and... I mean, it was probably clear he wasn't necessarily the best person for the job. Right?
I don't even know that you have to be political, because I don't even think it has to be, like, left-wing or right-wing. He's just clearly not very good at it.
There are people who disagree with you, Chris, despite all evidence to the contrary. And whether or not those kinds of people are tuning into this stream right now, Tony...
So what about you?
I think it's almost better that we've got Tony with us and no one else, because, I mean, I feel like we're building a community, one person at a time.
That's one way of looking at it.
Whoa! Summoners go on a pilgrimage to pray at every temple in Spira. Guardians protect them. The Guardian's in there now. One of them's got a sure fuse, and who knows what the other's thinking.
Which one do you think he's talking about with the short fuse?
I assume you mean Lulu.
Yeah, but I have always assumed that too, but you could definitely swap it either way. Because Kamari does demonstrably have a short fuse.
You know what? Yeah. Yeah, that actually...
It's just
Because Lulu kind of has this
See,
vibe
she gets mad
of
easy.
being very temperamental and very oh, what's the word I'm looking for?
Is the summoner
I don't know, I'll let you search for it.
Who are you?
She does play things close
Yeah.
to her chest. And
Yeah, I mean,
that's not a joke about Lulu's chest.
Hmm.
But that was. I don't know. 11-year-old me thought she was very buxom.
Hmm.
Which is a great word.
Thumbs up from Tony.
About what?
I assume Lulu's chest.
You shouldn't be sticking your thumb up Lulu's chest. Get your mind out of the gutter, Tony. I always found the contrast between the movie clips in this game and the actual gameplay, in terms of the art style, really intriguing. It almost takes me out of it slightly. How different the characters look visually. How different the characters look audibly.
Here I was thinking summoners were all old geezers.
I mean, just how different the characters look. And I mean, I'm not sure if I have a preference one way or the other. The fact that they're not the same the whole way through is a little distracting to me.
Hmm.
It ruins my suspension of disbelief.
Oh no, it doesn't.
Slightly. It always makes me think, it's a movie scene now, not this is part of what I'm doing.
See anything?
Can't see anything. I don't think Waka's that tall, I just think Titus is tiny.
Possibly.
He's so small.
He's about the same height as you, isn't he?
I think so. Just gonna enjoy the Velafor summoning.
Hmm.
Oh,
Ooh.
Tony, do you want an Aeon named after you? Because we do get to name the Aeons.
We do, don't we?
I do. You don't. I'll give you a say. Should name it after our most involved chat contributor for each stream. Tony might be all our Aeons might be named Tony, and it would be very confusing. Oh, that would be wonderful.
I had never seen anything like it in my life. Sure, it was a little scary, but still.
I mean,
could
I
feel
understand
a
that. That would be
strange kind of
terrifying.
Gentleness coming from it.
Also, what is Velafor's proportions? Alright,
It's what?
Velafor's proportions are really odd. It's got a really long body. She's got a really long body. Tony hasn't replied. But Velafor is female, right? Like the...
I really have no idea.
Pretty sure it has breasts in the sprite. We'll go Tony with an I.
Remember, that night, we talked for the first time. I didn't know it then, but after that night, everything changed. For everyone. For me.
And yeah, I didn't mean to to trash Trump so much as point out that it's amazing to me that it's taken this long for America to implode with him in charge. Or with any kind of lack of leadership. Because even during Obama's second term, it was quite clear that the president was fighting a losing battle against the Republican House.
Hi, guys.
Is that fair, Chris?
So what's our goal?
Yeah, that seems reasonable. I mean,
Nope, we got a new goal now. Our new
You're more
goal,
qualified to talk about it than I am.
victory.
well, yeah,
Every
that's
match,
true.
defeat every opposing team. To bring
I mean, I
us
only
to
came in
the
halfway
top
through the
island.
second term,
That's all
so
we need to do to win. Easy,
yeah.
huh?
I love how the rest of the Aurochs are just as confused as Waka was about victory.
Well, they are a terrible blitzball team, just objectively.
I mean, yeah. Yeah, they really are.
I mean, I know theoretically if you level them up, most of them are quite good, but when you actually start
Sure got the
playing
buzz.
blitzball for the first time, it's so bad.
I mean, the fact that there are significantly better free agents just roaming around Luca is saying something. Like, Biggs and Wedge have a full-time job as kind of crusaders guarding the guarding the stadium, and they are better blitzball players than people who apparently train.
Lady Una, be careful.
But it was really
Well, I'm sure
my
Crusaders are
fault
very
to
physically
begin
fit,
with.
right?
And I suppose when you think about it,
For your help
the
earlier.
blitzball team makes up like 40% of the population of Besaid.
Wasn't it?
Maybe they actually do all have jobs as weavers or whatever they do,
Oh no, I was overconfident.
as we talk.
Again, 100%. Everyone else is just the blitzball team in costumes.
I saw that.
Oh yeah, sorry,
That's
apologies.
amazing.
Yeah, the old woman is Letty.
Really?
The old woman is Letty.
Do you think I can become High Summoner?
Though I do have to say, Jasu's quite good.
Lady Una,
Mm.
come play with me some more.
You
Which
don't have to
one's-
do much to
is he the
Jasu.
goalie?
No, the goalie's called Keeper, because he's a keeper.
Oh, right.
So,
Yeah, of course he is.
Tomorrow then.
Because he was literally named after the
Going on
blitzball
the
position
same boat,
his
aren't we?
parents wanted him to have.
Really?
No one actually knows his real name.
Talk more.
Huh.
They just call him that.
Tell me all about Xanarkand.
Oh, I see. Tony's getting a delay in his video, so the thumbs up was about whether he was still listening,
Yeah.
not about Lulu's chest.
No, definitely about. No, that's canon now.
Okay, yep. Thumbs up for Lulu's chest.
Sorry, Yuna's not my type.
Hey, but what if she
Oh,
like,
yes, he
comes
is.
on to me?
Yes, she is. Don't lie, Titus.
That's not going to happen. If you get tired, let me know. I had a bed made for you.
Stay away from the summoner.
Okay. No one else to talk to, really, is there? I guess I'll go to bed.
Hmm.
Good. Sleep tight.
Weird that Tony's got some delays. My video is basically live. Oh well. Sitting at the port. Do.
Where's that boat?
Just,
Everyone
you
will
know,
find
dreaming
us
about people he
if it
just
doesn't
met.
come soon.
You really sure this is okay?
Would you take me to Xanarkand?
This is actually quite a fun dream.
Why is he jogging on the spot here? Why does he do this?
He's warming up. He's got to be ready if he wants to take them both to Xanarkand. Is that a euphemism?
I
Yeah, so you're coming with me.
What does take you to Xanakin mean? Yeah.
You,
I mean,
woman, you can't even catch a
I can imagine what it might mean.
Oh, what's the matter? Gonna cry again? Cry,
Oh, and
cry.
Jix stole the 2 women off him.
Thing you're good for. Huh? What'd you say?
You have to speak loudly. I hate you!
So is the fact that Titus is brown-haired when he's little confirmation that he dyes his hair?
Oh, well, you can tell he dyes his hair because he's got like frosted tips, right?
He's dead, okay?
Kind of? They're not quite frosted tips? Like, that looks quite blonde there.
Well, yeah.
A lot like Chapu. I was surprised too.
Like in the cutscenes, I definitely get the impression that his roots are brown.
Looks like he isn't Chapu. You shouldn't have brought him here in the first place.
Yeah, but he needed our help.
Excuses
Yeah,
again.
damn you, Walker, for bringing him here.
Yeah, but
You're a bad person for what was wrong with his eyes?
Enough,
Hmm?
Waka.
I think I missed that.
It was a very, very brief thing. He looked like he had bug eyes. Oh, I just missed it in the live stream too. He looks so dejected walking back like that.
Scary. So, who's Chapu?
my little brother.
I don't actually think that Chapu looks that much like Titus. Like a little bit.
He was with the
What does
Crusaders
Chapu
when
look
they
like?
fought sin
I thought you had already gone down the rabbit hole of what Chapu looks like when you looked up him and Luzu.
I first heard
No,
of
that was
the
Luzu and
Toronto.
Gata.
Oh, no wonder you came back.
I
If it was
became a
Luzu and
god
Chapu,
of
you'd
sin,
still be there.
huh?
Revenge, then?
That was the idea.
Yeah, I'm googling him now.
About a stupid girl now
Um,
than avenging my brother. Well, after the next tournament, I'll be a guardian full time.
I guess I kind of see it.
I know it kind
I
of
mean, his
looks like
hair
I'm
is different,
using you,
obviously, but
but I'm not.
yeah.
Don't worry. I mean, I owe you a lot. You really helped me out, you know? What I mean is...
When you pushed me off that cliff and
Thanks.
you strangled me in the water.
Hmm.
Stop. You're embarrassing me.
Everyone woken up by Titus's snoring has already left.
Hey, sleepyhead. Something I want to give you.
Whoa! You're giving this to me?
Yeah, use it well.
It is a very cool sword.
It is a very cool sword. I find it a little sad, actually, that when you unlock it, it becomes an elemental sword.
You never used it.
Hmm.
Because that kind of limits how useful it can be.
Unit, right?
It's very useful immediately after you unlock it and you go to the Thunder Plains.
When the last calm started.
But then as soon as you fight anything that resists water,
Since then, she's been like a little sister to me and Lulu. But she had the talent. She became an apprentice. Now,
see, I wish we learned more about this process.
This is our journey. We should leave together.
Like, we meet Yuna as a fully fledged summoner. It would have been cool if 10-2 had looked into,
Really don't need all that luggage.
like, the way in which you become a summoner and all the things that she went through in and with the temple and the faith
I guess
Hmm.
in order to become a summoner. What does a summoner's apprentice do? We don't meet a single one on our journey.
okay, off we go.
We meet, what, like 4 summoners?
Something like that.
If you include Belgemine. Or Belgemini. I like Belgemini.
Of course you do.
Tutorial battles, the worst.
Hooray.
Yeah. These are the different ways we can shoehorn you into using these characters. And we're going to tell you off every time you visit an area in which the tutorials happen, because that's how we program the game.
A flyer, my kind of customer.
This'll be easy.
I do love that Walker's weapon is just a soccer ball.
It's a blitzball, Chris. Get it right.
Underwater soccer.
It's like underwater water polo. Which is just
I don't know
underwater polo? Or is that with horses or seahorses?
Yes.
That looks like
Watch this!
It's so creepy that that's a brain inside them. That is one thing that I love about that game, is all the fiend stories and training the fiends.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Some of them were just legitimately insane though.
Mm.
Spells of ice were, and ice fiends are weak. You follow.
Yeah.
I get fire and ice, but what about lightning and
Because they're elemental
Lightning
opposites.
and water are opposed, just like this one here is a water.
Just like earth and air, but those spells are banned. Isn't that right, Chris?
Absolutely.
And for good reason too.
Oh. Sorry, is there a joke there that I'm not getting?
No. There's just supposed to be the implication that there might be some reason. You can imagine what that might be.
Mm.
Take your time.
This is really good. Let's not spoil the
we're gonna wait.
the reason why they're waiting. But this is really good foreshadowing. I really like
You ready?
the trademark unilingual.
What's going on?
Oh god, Tony's listening at 1.5 speed. Imagine how high our voices are. Quick, Chris, speak lower so it adjusts for it.
It's an ancient custom. People
Speak lower, Chris, speak lower.
for a safe trip.
Testing.
Pray that day.
Testing. Yeah, I'm not speaking that. I'm not doing that. No.
The three people who watched the replay of this are going to be so confused. But if you are watching the replay of this, why not join us live next week? We'll probably do it again, as long as Chris is still talking to me.
It's always touch and go.
Yeah, I might tell him that he needs to redo parts of an article. Whoa. Oh look, we can read something.
What does that mean?
Okay, I know this now. I used to think it was something that was completely wrong. I used to think that it meant that Kilika and Bikanel were actually the same island. And that Kilika was one half and Bikanel was like the other half, and it was actually just a long island.
Nice.
That's what I thought it was when I was a kid. What it actually means is it's an answer to the code that you have to put in. So the code at Kilika, so there's a code at Kilika and there's a code at Bikanel. And you're supposed to combine them to make a single code which gets you access to the save point that's up there.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, it's somewhat ridiculous. It's a good jump from Titus there. He could be a comedic actor. Come on, attack him harder. But you see what I mean about like my criticism of this game is that if you're going to use triggers and things like that, then why not have them more involved? Like they only come up in certain battles and they're always useful. Why not have like far more options? Oh god, he's got 2 attacks in a row. I better use an item. Please don't kill me, Mr. Kamari, sir.
Can he actually kill you here?
Don't know. But I don't really want to find out while streaming to one person.
That's enough.
What could possibly be a better time?
When I'm by myself and have the ability to drink myself into oblivion.
What's with that guy?
Kimari Ronso.
Of the Ronso tribe. Like, that makes any sense.
The fiend's way of fighting.
That's not what I meant.
Also, both the Guado and the Ronso are recent converts to Yevon, or is it just the Guado? Because what's been going on for the last 900 years? I feel like they just said 1,000 years. The game developers just said 1,000 years because it was a convenient round unit of time. And they didn't actually think about the implication of 1,000 years, 5 high summoners, and the fact that there's 2 species. Races? I think they're called races in the game. Whatever they are, these two things have only just been converted to the all-encompassing, almost, religion of the entire world.
Yeah, I don't know about the Ronso. But yeah, you're right. It was supposedly Seymour's dad converted the Guado, right?
Yeah. And I thought it was the current Maester. Who is the current Maester? What's his name? Go, Tony! I choose you. The Maester... Not Conk? No.
Enoch?
No, Keenock is what's his name's friend, Orin's friend.
Mm.
From when
Who
they were
are we
in
talking about?
the Ronso Maester.
Oh, Kelk.
Kelk. I was close. Oh no, you're gonna have to keep an eye on the messages, Chris. My phone's about to die.
I'll manage.
Good. Means I can't speak directly to Tony. Sorry, Tony. I hope you've caught up. Should be about caught up by now. I don't actually think there was any point to me doing that. But, yeah, I thought, Kelk Ronso, he may be the first Maester. Maybe.
The first Ronso Maester.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. If you do know, Tony, or anyone else watching this later, let us know in the comments. But yeah, I feel like they didn't think through this 1,000 years bit. Because, I mean, if they wanted it to be in the distant past, 500 years is a pretty long time ago. What on earth are you doing?
Me?
Yeah.
I'm not doing anything. What are you doing?
I don't know, but the people at home will know what I'm talking about.
One of those. No problem. Leave this one to me, huh? Say good night.
Okay, and this is where we learn to use status attacks. The flyer, use thunder. That's right. Yuna, you wait. Go Titus. I always do feel a little bit like a Pokemon trainer when I'm playing Final Fantasy X. Picking and choosing who goes out. It's like a triple battle. No comment from Chris.
Sorry, what?
Thanks for listening, Chris. You're here with Junior Editor and Pokemaniac Chris, and you can now understand how frustrating it is to be his editor.
Oh, shut up.
Do you know what I've just noticed, Chris?
What have you just noticed?
The fact that our hour and a half is well and truly up.
It is.
So, should we say let's get down to the beach, get to the save point, and that'll be us for the day?
That seems reasonable to me.
Good. Good. How do you think it's been? How have you felt?
Acceptable for a first try, I think.
Yeah? Yeah, I would agree. I think we have some notes. Tony, if you have any notes, let us know. Has Tony caught up yet?
I think he's closer.
He's closer. Good, good. Alright, we're through to the beach. There is our save point. Should we take a look at the sphere grid? I say that as I'm doing it. We should probably get cheer. And, of course, this is the way that Titus is supposed to go. Chris, you have ordained that we are not to go that way. Which way do you want us to go?
Well, there's kind of only one other way at the moment.
Well, I mean,
right?
there's down, but down then gets
It's
you...
up or down.
Well, let's go...
He's only got 4 points. He can go up or down.
Yeah, for now, but what do you think? What are you thinking right now that people can look forward to? Do we want him to become Titus the White Mage? Titus the Black Mage? Titus the... not quite sure what Waka is. Statusy person? Or do we just camp out here until we get a level 1 sphere key and become Titus the Thief?
He's going to be really terrible if we wait for a key sphere, isn't he?
Yes. I think the first one's at Mihin High Road. I think. But that is a question we need to answer with Lulu right now. Which way do we want Lulu to go? Because down is her usual route, becoming a black mage. Around to the right.
Let's put Lulu onto Titus's path.
Okay, Lulu, you're going up in the world. Get the extract mana. So Lulu will be going up here and becoming a fast attacker. Good.
Whatever.
Wake, well, you're not going your way, so the only way to go is backwards for him. And Yuna? Black Mage Yuna is very powerful. We've already got Lulu going up here. We haven't decided what to do with Waka yet.
I think Walker should be our Black Mage.
Oh god. Oh. That is what I did last time, and it is really tough.
Oh, Tony says he's caught up.
Yeah, welcome back, Tony. So, what do you think about Yuna? Where do you want Yuna to go? Really, we're asking Lulu or Waka. Do we want the person who's usually a white mage to be a black mage? Similar, there are advantages there. Yuna actually has a particularly high magic skill.
I feel like that's too good.
Okay, then are we going to make Yuna the new Waka?
I think we have to.
Oh joy. I think that's a quote. There we go. That's sorted. All our sphere points, levels, units of spheriness have been used up. We're 10 minutes over our hour and a half self-imposed limit. Have you had fun, Chris?
I have.
Should we do this again?
I think we should.
Alright, well, then all that remains is for me to save the game, me to thank everyone who is watching this after the fact, but in particular thank Tony for joining us here, for watching. And if you do like this content, if you do want to see more of this content, drop us a comment. Clicking the like button is always nice. And stay subscribed if you want to hear more from me in particular. Chris will hopefully turn up for this every Friday.
Yeah, no promises.
Anyway, that is all from us here. Thanks very much, and I hope you hear from me soon.